You guys and gals want to hear one of the worst interpretations of the Second Amendment by a federal judge that I have ever heard in my life? How about this one? The Second Amendment covers the right to keep firearms and to bear firearms, but you have no right to obtain them. Oh my Lord. Before I get into this, I'd like to thank the sponsor of the video, and that's the Sonoran Desert Institute. I know a lot of you out there are just like me. You like to repair or modify your own guns. If you're looking for a way to take your hobby to the next level, then the Sonoran Desert Institute can help. The online programs at SDI cover armorers courses, gunsmithing, ballistics, woodworking and finishes, shooting sports management, and much more, including drones. Plus, tools and materials are shipped directly to your door for hands-on practice. It's never been a better time to get an education that you can actually use on the job and earn money doing what you love. So what are you waiting for? Visit sdi.edu/GNJ. Link is down below and in the pinned comment. Head over there if you want to learn more. Thanks to SDI for being a friend to the channel. All right, let's get into this one. Like I said, this is quite possibly the worst interpretation by a judge I've ever seen, other than those crazy judges that say, like, AR-15s, the Second Amendment doesn't extend to them because they're so scary and spooky. Well, this one is right up there. U.S. District Court Judge John L. Kane. This old coot is 86 years old and was appointed by President Jimmy Carter back in 1977 when I was 2. This is an old coot. But some of the things he has said, I have to read them to you. You have to hear them in order to believe it. Here is the case on the screen. It's the Rocky Mountain gun owners and Alicia Garcia versus Jared S. Polis, the governor of Colorado. And this is challenging Colorado's new 3-day waiting period as it being unconstitutional, which we know it already is. But guys and gals, I'm going to read you a couple quick paragraphs so that your brain can hurt just like mine. Let's start here in the analysis, the likelihood of success and the merits. After examining the language of the Second Amendment using the Supreme Court's analysis in Heller, I find, for the purposes of plaintiff's motion, that the plain text does not cover the waiting period required by the Act. So we just said that the language of this Act isn't covered in the plain text. So guess what? Text, history, tradition, brewing, right? Therefore, it cannot stand. This judge is a fool. If you think that the Second Amendment means exactly what it says, smash that like button and subscribe to the channel down below. Help this channel out. I appreciate that. Back to this moronic judge. This conclusion is bolstered by the fact that the Act is a regulation on the commercial sale of firearms and thus is presumptively permissible. However, even if the waiting period implicated the plain text of the Second Amendment, the evidence before me establishes that the Act is consistent with the nation's historical tradition of firearm regulation. Plaintiffs, therefore, have not carried their burden to show they are likely to succeed on the merits of their claims. So the judge is saying that this waiting period, 3-day waiting period, is consistent with the firearm regulation around the time of the adoption of the Second Amendment, except there were no waiting periods. None. Check this out. Plaintiffs contend that the words keep and bear in the Second Amendment are implicated by the waiting period required by the Act. In Heller, the Supreme Court examined the normal meaning of those words at the time of the nation's founding, reviewing definitions from contemporaneous dictionaries. As the court explained, the 1773 edition of Samuel Johnson's Dictionary of the English Language defined keep as most relevantly to retain, not to lose, and to have in custody. And Webster's 1828 American Dictionary of the English Language defined it as to hold, to retain in one's power or possession. Based on those definitions, the court concluded the most natural reading of keep arms in the Second Amendment is to have weapons. The court then turned to the word bear and determined that it means to carry. The court clarified that when bear is used with arms, however, the term has a meaning that refers to carrying for particular purpose, confrontation. So Putting all the pieces together, the court found that the text of the Second Amendment guarantees an individual right to possess and carry weapons in case of confrontation. From this reading of the plain text, it is clear the relevant conduct impacted by the waiting period, the receipt of a paid-for firearm without delay, is not covered. Is not covered. Still, plaintiffs attempt to equate the words obtain and possess. But these terms are not equivalent. To keep, under the definitions provided in Heller, meant to retain an object one already possessed. It did not mean to receive a newly paid-for item, and it certainly did not mean to receive that item without delay. Likewise, having weapons indicates the weapons are already in one's possession, not that one is receiving them. So the plaintiffs here, Rocky Mountain gun owners, they've said that, hey judge, this is covering stuff that people have already obtained. Why? Because they've already paid for it. Ownership has already been registered, for lack of a better term. Ownership's already been established. How's that? So this is something that they already own. The title of the firearm is already in their name. Therefore, it should be covered. Then this judge, he keeps going. Plaintiffs additionally argue that when a person has been deprived of possession of a firearm they have acquired, they cannot carry it. This argument fails for the same reasons. The relevant conduct is therefore not covered by the plain meaning of the terms keep or bear in the Second Amendment. Seemingly recognizing this fact, plaintiffs contend that the right to keep arms necessarily implies the right to possess arms one has acquired. But the purchase and delivery of an object, here a firearm, is not an integral element of keeping or having or bearing or carrying that object. Rather, purchase and delivery are one means of creating the opportunity to have weapons. The relevant question is whether the plain text covers that specific means. It does not. Ooh, boy, this judge makes my head hurt. Oh. But wait, there's more. Even if purchasing a firearm could be read into the terms keep or bear, receipt of a firearm without any delay could not be, as the founders would not have expected instant, widespread availability of the firearm of their choice. The parties dispute this fact, but I find the expert opinions of Professor Spitzer and Roth on this topic to be convincing. What's he talking about? There's a couple of professors that submitted some works where they're saying that waiting periods saved lives, and we know that they don't. But this judge just said that, yeah, you know what, keep and bear arms allows you to keep them and bear them, but it doesn't cover obtaining them. It's something I've never heard of. I've never heard a judge say that. Maybe it's been said, but I've never heard it. And even though there aren't any statutes in the historical record that are similar to Colorado's modern waiting period, there are some laws that this stupid old coot judge think are close enough analog to allow the state's 3-day waiting period. And which ones did he refer to? Laws forbidding the carrying of firearms while intoxicated. However, those laws, they didn't make you wait 3 days if you were drunk. You just had to sober up. So this fails. I eagerly look forward to the appeal of this. This judge is about to be eviscerated by the Court of Appeals. This is bad. 86 years old. This dude needs to go back home, tend to some sheep or play with a cat, because he's obviously lost his mind. He doesn't know what he's talking about. Unless, of course, he is a judge who is doing what he's been put there to do. Somebody, I'm sure, has helped him in his anti-gun ways get to where he is, and he's paying his dues. So that's just how I feel about it. What do you think about this old judge's ruling? This guy's been on the bench since I was 2 years old, and that's a long time. Term limits. Yeah, buddy. Guys and gals, thank you for your time. Subscribe to this channel if you want more information like this that happens all around the country. And thank you again for allowing me to do what it is that I do. Till we see each other again, be safe, stay vigilant, and carry a gun to keep you, your friends, your family, your community safe. That's what the Second Amendment is for. Don't care what an 86-year-old judge says. he sure as hell didn't put himself out there to secure that right. We're not giving it up. Take care.